VPs and myself are talking about finishing the year strong. And we're always talking about, working your business 3 months out. This is a small business that you're running. You should be focused on, your marketing 3 months out. Know your plan. There's nothing more stressful, in my opinion, coming from being an agent than trying to scramble and put something together at the last minute that's going to look and reflect what you want it to look and reflect. So the effort's got to be there. And Coldwell Banker has amazing tools, as you guys are learning, as you're going through, your one-on-ones with your field marketing specialist. And if you're lucky enough to have Angie, then you've got it going on. But there's just so much that we can pull from. And one of my favorite things to do is to kind of put the collaboration together. Work in a mastermind like this, where we can kind of pull from each other's ideas, what's worked for us in the past. You never know what great idea is going to come from a session like this. So it's a very casual mood right here that we're going to do. We're going to go through October through the end of the year and just kind of, hear some stories about what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you, what you would like to see more of. And it doesn't always have to be a CB tool. I think we all know that there are other options out there, but maybe we can, work it together to complement a CB tool. So we're going to start with October, and, everybody's favorite are pumpkins, right? Everybody's got their eye on small pumpkins and all that good stuff. One of the things that I loved to do when I was an agent was, sponsor a class, whether it was kindergarten or first grade, or maybe it was a preschool. Go grab 20 or so pumpkins and, just donate them to that school, with my business card or whatever. Or maybe you have a grandchild or a child that's already in a class that needs some kind of sponsorship or donation. That's an easy way to do it and very, very much appreciated. Has anyone else done something similar like that and has had success with it? I can't tell who's. Okay. What's a good one? Ange, go ahead.
Similar. When I was in the field, we did something similar and did adopt one of the agents in my group. We adopted her daughter's class every year. And actually the whole grade where that school was, and delivered, pumpkins and like stuff to make crafts and stuff like that to make it a little bit easier for the teachers. Mm-hmm. And as she got older in the school, like we got to know more and more and more of the teachers, and we're able to kind of broaden that out as it went to start once a month doing a pizza party for the teachers, where the information for the agent is there so they know where that food is coming from, but they're all very loyal and dedicated by then. I had a school that I was in the PTA, and I was like, hey, what about this idea? And they're like, oh no, we have an agent that they had one that already did it at their school. So they were very loyal to that agent. Like, that's great that you do it, but we have a person. So it does work. It does work.
And since you brought up schools, Angie, like, if you're looking to do something for a specific group, I mean, everybody knows an agent. Everybody knows probably 2 or 3 agents. But you could go to a high school, do something for the coaches, do something for the custodians. It doesn't always have to be a gigantic mass group of, like teachers, or, make it a manageable group. Everybody's got a budget, hopefully. So, try to stay within that budget, but think outside of the box and do kind of groups like that. Or maybe it's a church that you want to donate to, or, a Sunday school, those kind of things. Do you guys, anybody here do pop buys? Do you know what a pop buy is? Cindy, I know you started doing pop buys.
Yeah, I just did one for National Dessert Day. And I dropped off I got a card and I wrote a little love note in there for our people that we just settled 2 weeks ago. And then I took them a bunch of sweets and treats and put them in a little gift bag, and, just said, because they're our, some of our sweetest clients, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it.
Back when I was an agent, and I know you guys hate when I say that, I would pick a day out of the week, and it would be the same day every week, and I would try to do 2 or 3 pop buys. I would put it on my schedule. to try to get to, past clients, or maybe it's a lead I was working, or maybe somebody was celebrating a birthday or an anniversary. And just put something small on their porch. I would take a little, picture of it, or maybe a selfie with me in it, send it to them, so they would have it. And there's a million things you can do with Popeyes, a million things. Karen?
Let me turn my radio off. I have so much noise going on in here. You can't even see me. So when I was in production, Popeyes were one little thing I did. Sometimes it was a big Popeye, like a mass Popeye with my pumpkin pies, or I would do if you just Google realtor Popeyes, you come up with like a ton of ideas. Yep. But I would always do my top core of clients, the ones that gave me the most referrals, my A-list clients. Those are the ones that I would hit. And because I knew that if I stayed in front of them, they were going to refer me more people. So I would always hit their houses, and those were the ones I focused on. And yep. But I had some funny ones that I would drop off, like around Easter, or for Easter, you could do the peeps. Peeps call me.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So.
Like, what kind of things did you do for this time of year, Karen? Like, I mean, this is such a special time of year. Everybody just gets in the best mood from, October on. It's just, the weather is fantastic. Like, what kind of things did you do?
Big thing for the fall was my pumpkin pie Popeye. I didn't have my clients come to the office. I differentiated myself, and I actually delivered them. And that wasn't just to my top clients. That was to my top clients and the new clients that were in the year, for that year. Yeah. So, my last year, it was over 100 pies.
Yeah.
So, but it was really, that was one full week of hardcore lead gen, because, we're lead generators. Without leads, we are not realtors. We do not have a job. Mm-hmm. So, it was like a really hardcore lead gen for that week. And my husband and I would take 3 days. I would map it out, 3 different areas. 3 days, we would work from 8 to sometimes 8 at night delivering these pies, but I was doing my job. I was lead generating.
Yeah.
And it created quite a bit of business for us. So that was my big fall Popeye. And then, I kind of can't remember the ones I did. Would do one in the spring, like, the tip, not the seeds. Everybody does the seeds in the spring. So I would do like a little daisy or something and leave it on their porch, and like you take a picture and send it to them, or just like a little flower or something.
Yeah.
All you need to do is let them know you're thinking of them.
Yeah, absolutely. But the fact that, and you planned that ahead, right? I mean, you knew what weeks you were going to be doing your big Popeyes, so you made sure that your business was not suffering, right? You probably.
Yeah, I had it planned. Well, the big one for the fall was planned well in advance. Mm-hmm. And I always have my computer with me and stuff. There's no reason, and my husband would drive. So I would still be fielding calls. I would still be doing that kind of thing. But my business didn't suffer. My business grew as a result of that 3-day lead gen, or it was more than 3 days, because, about 2 weeks prior to that Popeye, I would start emailing, texting, calling, saying, hey, I'm going to be in your area on Tuesday next week between 10 and 2 or 10 and 12. As I narrow down my schedule for the day, I'll text you and let you know when I'm going to be there. But I have an agent calling me right now, so I'm going to mute you guys.
Sure. Call. Thank you for sharing that. So along those same lines, guys, I have a really good friend that is an agent in Virginia, and he does kind of the same thing. Like this time of year, he bakes all of these small batches of banana bread. He gives them to every single client. I'm talking like probably 400 of these little mini loaves that he does, and he takes an entire week and kind of delivers those. And people look forward to it. It's a tradition that he's started. And I think, that's what it's all about, is generating the excitement, planning ahead, and of course, following up with it. Now you've delivered all these great things, with the pop buys, what are you doing afterwards? How are you following up? And I know Angie, we've got so many tools, right, to use to follow up.
One thing that I have heard from agents too, when we talk about this is, like I don't want to look like I'm just trying to get their business or like be sales pitchy. And it's really funny that we were going to do this today. I have a friend I go to church with. We were talking over the weekend. They had a real estate agent before they met me. And they love her. And she was like, wow, she was like, this agent stays in touch with us. She's like, every once in a while she'll pop by and she'll bring us something. And I just think that that's so nice. She's like, she'll call every once in a while to check on us. She doesn't even talk about real estate. She just says, how are the kids? How are the dogs doing? Like, how do you love your house? And she's like, we have a relationship with her. And she's like, I like her as a person now. She's not just my agent. And that was kind of profound to me, to talk to somebody that's, that's out there as a consumer, what their perception is of things like pop buys. And when you're doing things and you're doing these nice little things, like, are they perceiving you as somebody that's just trying to get business out of them? Or are they like, they really consider that, that's a personal touch that you deliver. And the other thing is, they're not just a paycheck at that point. You're not a one and done where now you've disappeared. You're somebody that's still present in their life. They have a relationship with you. And I've actually seen some people actually tell people, well, you need to call my agent, because then you're going to get this, banana bread at Christmas, or you're going to get, invited to a client event, or you're going to get somebody that's going to stay in touch with you and isn't going to fall off the face of the earth, so that, that person is there. And there's lots of things, like Karen said, you can Google pop buys, you can find a million different ideas, like mums. Now is a great time, even throughout until Thanksgiving, going and finding some mums from like the Home Depot or Lowe's or someplace like that, or a local nursery, even to support a local business. And you're taking mums, and it's, that's how you grow your business. There are all kinds of little kitschy, like cheesy things that you can find on Pinterest to write on these things. That's something I can help you with. And I work with several agents that do it frequently, but again, it's to stay in touch with people and in front of them. And there are things, in touch, you can go in, and there are emails that you can customize, that you can send out. In addition to that, maybe you want to follow up. Again, like Karen said, some of that is the lead gen and the following up. Maybe I did a pop buy and I dropped something off and I let them know, I sent them a picture, but maybe the next week I want to follow up. I want to, however they communicate best. It could be a text, it could be a phone call. Some people just want you to email them because they're busy. Following up is really easy when you have a system like In Touch, where you can go in and things are already pre-written for you. You don't have to spend a lot of time, or if you get writer's block, trying to think of what do I want to say. There are some things in there that are already created. You can add your personal touch to them. Another idea that kind of Teresa and I were talking about before we got started is, as you're going through, if you're utilizing a small business to do some of these pop buys, there's a small business shout out in Brand Serve. You can literally walk in, like in the festival, go to Coffee. Hey, I would love to have you on my website.
Mm-hmm.
Those small businesses that you're going in and patronizing. Hey, would it be okay if I gave you a shout out on my Facebook business page, or on Instagram, or wherever you're on social media? Seeing if maybe they'll let you, leave a business card behind. You're scratching their back, they're scratching yours, kind of thing. And the other thing too is, if you have friends that do these things, that could be your lead gen right there. I had a couple of friends that I put their small business shout outs on my business page. I had one, you guys have probably heard me tell this before. I had 11 shares on it. Her friends were psyched that she got chosen as my business of the week on my little bitty page that nobody goes to. But they were so excited for her. I got a referral out of that. Unfortunately, her grandmother passed away, but she immediately called me and was like, I need an agent. You put me on your page. I know you have good people. They were commenting. They were congratulating me. So I got a referral. She got a really great agent to work with. but it's you never know when somebody that they know, they might never move, but they know people. And the other thing too is, especially with the pandemic, we want to support the people supporting the small businesses. So when those people see, oh, you delivered XYZ, or you even, personal touch did it yourself, they're seeing that, you're not, you're giving back to the community that they live in as well. So you really are a community person.
Yeah. And to piggyback on that, Ange, we talked about the pop buys, but don't forget about the small businesses too with the pop buys. We've got, especially around our Frederick office and our new Eldersburg office, so many businesses that support us and our agents on a daily basis. Bring a little thing of candy, go to the dollar store and fill it up with candy, or Target or Walmart or whatever, put your business cards in there. Even throw some mini bottles in there too if you wanted to, depending on the business, and the relationship you have with them. The guys at the parking garage are always so great to us in the Frederick office. I'm always sending something their way, and they know who we are, and I encourage the agents to do it too. So don't just stop with your pipeline. Don't just stop with the people that your clients, your friends. Go beyond, to the people that you see on a daily basis, or that you want to build better relationships with. Another idea that I see often, especially this time of year, is agents reaching out to neighborhoods. Maybe it's a neighborhood that you're farming already, or that you want to farm, and they do a prize for like the best decorated house in the neighborhood or something. Put a really cool flyer together, send it out, and just say, hey, we'd really love to, we love your Halloween spirit already. Me and my team at Coldwell Banker are going to be giving away a $50 gift card to Home Depot, or whatever you want to put on there, for the best decorated, house in the neighborhood. And just say, I'll be by 3:00 on Saturday, blah, blah, blah. And we'll announce the winner on social media, and maybe it's on the neighborhood Facebook page or whatever. But there's a lot of agents that do that and do it really well. Has anyone on this call done that? No. Ange, do you have anybody in your offices that do that?
I know one of the agents in your office is doing that. We did do, at one time, one of my agents got together with her church and sponsored, I say that loosely, sponsored a trunk or treat. It was basically just her giving the information out. The church agreed to have it on their parking lot. When the people come for trunk or treat, they bring their own decorations, they bring their own candy. It's just kind of mapping them out in the parking lot, making sure everybody is safe, having people to have a place to park other than where you are. So she was able to utilize that to her advantage, and she was able, when people signed up, to give her information to everyone there. That's a great marketing opportunity, even if you just go to one of those. I know, like, for example, our church is doing one. So we went to a different trunk or treat and gave out our information. And we met so many other people that were like, oh man, we want to come to your stuff. That's a different way, again, to reach additional people. Another thing could be, if you have anything in your neighborhood going on, if you're in the HOA or there's any upcoming events. My local area just had a community yard sale. You guys hear me all the time. October's huge, at least in my area, for all these community yard sales. What a great time to walk the neighborhood. They're already outside. They can't shut the door in your face. They can't not open the door. And I did have an agent recently that printed out Prospect Square reports for that particular neighborhood. She walked the neighborhood. She just wanted to introduce herself. Hey, I'm your local realtor. Just want to give you some information in case you want to know what's going on in the neighborhood. Not, hey, want to sell your house, whatever. She wasn't sales pitchy. I just want to provide you with good, valuable content, because I know that there are websites out there that give us some not so reliable information, and I want to make sure that you know what's going on. Some of those people have already reached out to sign up. Hey, can I get these every month? My mom did that. I put her on one in a class, and immediately she's like, I need these every month. Like, this is fantastic. People are nosy. So that's another way to get that out there. but definitely something like that. And for Christmas too, not just for Halloween decorations, those Christmas decorations. If your community does the luminaires or luminaries, however you pronounce that, I'm the captain for my block. Don't know why I signed up for that. However, I can put my business card on all of these forms that I will be walking on my very long, I'm in the 500 block, so I'm going to be walking for days. But I'll be able to put my business card on there. If I have to leave it behind, they're going to see who I am as their team captain. But just another way to get my voice out in the neighborhood. Because again, I have to practice what I preach to you guys. I do these things too, because I want the people in my neighborhood. I want to see Coldwell Banker signs on my street. I don't want to see a Long and Foster sign on my street or some other company. I want to see Coldwell Banker on my street. And I'm sure you're the same way. So reaching out to your own neighborhood. But yeah, I love the idea of, because people are going to decorate anyway.
Mhm.
So it kind of gives them an excuse of, well, I was going to decorate anyway. Now I can win something. And it gets your face and your name in front of them. And again, maybe they have an aunt that needs to move, or a coworker that just said, hey, we are going to move to Florida or whatever.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to partner with your lender or a home inspector, on this too. It's great exposure for them. And maybe you can make the prize even better. It doesn't always have to be a gift card. Maybe it could be, something you put together, really cool that's, relevant for the time of year. Getting involved locally right now is huge. You have all these food banks that really rely on food now through the end of the year. That's a great charge to lead, if you wanted to lead that, either in your office or challenge another business, on social media to, step up their game, or get a neighborhood. Maybe you can, have a drop-off point somewhere. If you didn't want to use your office, maybe it's in a neighborhood somewhere, or another business, partner with them. And social media obviously is huge with anything that you do. If you're not a big Facebooker, put it on Instagram, those kind of things. I know some of us have different levels of comfort with social media, and I always say it's not about the likes, it's about planting the seeds. It's about, staying relevant and staying in the eyes of everyone. Ange, how would you contribute to that one?
Yeah, so I love that idea. I was talking to an agent the other day who wanted to gather food again, was working with her church, and said, well, why don't I open this up to my office? And she's like, we're going to have maybe a fun little, she said, I'll see if some of the agents in my office want to have a food fight on Facebook, on Instagram, see who can bring more food, get the community involved in it, like have people come. It's going to benefit people. And that's, again, another way to get your name out there that isn't sales pitchy, but of course, everybody knows Coldwell Banker. Like, people know who Coldwell Banker Realty is. So when you're doing that and you have your Coldwell Banker Realty information there, people are going to associate, again, with you being somebody that's giving back to the community that they live in, because you're invested in the community. And who do we want to buy and sell with? I want people that are invested in the good of my community. Another idea for that too would be a lot of the rec teams. I know that our local football team this weekend had homecoming, because there were a lot of cars in the neighborhood. But that's a great way. I used to have an agent when I was team mom that would sponsor the team for homecoming, and would order a couple pizzas, well, probably more than a couple, but several pizzas, and would send in like a case of water, maybe like a case of Gatorade, and the business card would get handed out to every single parent that was there. All the kids got them, like anybody that was randomly around at that point. If there's pizza left over, but you got to take a business card, and they got business from it, because those people are like, man, like, I didn't, as a parent, have to contribute $5-10 to this. Like, you're giving my kids something, you're investing in the community. You don't even have, most of the time they're like, you don't even have a kid here and you're doing this. So kind of like with the schools as well, don't leave out some of those rec sports teams, and I did recently have an agent say, well, isn't it creepy? Like, if I don't have a kid that goes there, it's kind of creepy. And I'm like, if you talk to all the adults first and you kind of get it, and they'll let you know what they need. That's the other thing as well. Recently, my son's high school, before he graduated, had field day. And that was an opportunity from anyone that wanted to sponsor in any way, shape, or form. They could send in gift cards for the kids to win, or they could, when we had a little flyer that all the sponsors and the people that helped donate, we gave that out to the parents, to the kids, because we wanted them to know who was investing in them. And again, it doesn't have to be super sales pitchy. They see your name, they say Coldwell, they see Coldwell Banker Realty. They know you're in the real estate. So those are the people I know that I want to do business with in the community. But yeah, definitely put it out on social media. And there are ways to do that in brand serve. We already have tiles created for you. So if you're not a Canva junkie like I am, and you don't have time to sit down and recreate the wheel, so to speak, we have things that are pre-made. There are the social media shout outs as well. Where if you want to shout out those people, or you can actually use small business shout out. Sometimes every once in a while, I'll shout out myself to let people know, hey, don't forget, I'm a small business as well. So if you need anything, real estate related, I'm here. But yeah, the whole social media, definitely you want to push anything that you do out there, and you can create Facebook events to make it easier for people to find you. Those are things I can help you with. But definitely some of the tools that we have are great assets and helping you be a little more efficient with getting some of this done.
I'll give a side note real fast about sports. This doesn't have anything to do with holidays. I run the athletic boosters at our high school and have for the last 5 years. I've gotten suckered into that. And, especially over the last few years, it's been very difficult for high schools to fundraise. We are always looking for sponsors, always, always. I know a lot of schools actually have scholarships that they give out. We do 6 $500 scholarships at our high school, and we have actually sent it out to the community via Facebook and letters and stuff like that to have small businesses sponsor those now, because our fundraising has been kind of impossible the last few years. What a great way to get your name out there in the community, especially if the high school will do a lot of push behind it for you with social media, weekly newsletters from the high school. Again, if you don't want to do all 500, maybe you go in with another agent, or you go in with another partner, but those are fantastic. High schools are always looking for banner sponsors. The sky is the limit with that, but I just wanted to kind of push that out there. Not just now, but throughout the rest of the year. It's always a great investment for that. One of the things I see a lot with holidays, especially November, December, you don't want to get caught up in the exact, holiday. We want to be politically correct if we can here, but custom cookies are always a favorite. We did that last year, and we've got a couple really good vendors, if you guys are interested, that actually did like a shortbread cookie with the CB logo on it. It was a huge, huge hit. And you don't have to have a ton of them. Maybe it's just a couple with a bottle of sparkling wine or sparkling cider, things like that. Those were fantastic. I know a lot of people that love to do holiday open houses this time of year. It's such a beautiful time to do an open house during the holiday season, especially, when your listing is all lit up and decorated. That's always a great one. Emails, I know Angie touched on it a little bit. There's so many different emails you can start crafting now and have ready to roll for the holiday season. I don't know if you're going to be doing a class on that or not, Ange, or maybe.
Yeah, in the next couple of weeks, we're doing the In Touch in pieces. So today we did the account. Next week, we're going to do how to add contacts and groups and import your people. And then the following week, we're going to do drip marketing. But we can always do those on a one-on-one. There's a fantastic drip market campaign in Touch. So up and coming, we're going to have, Halloween's going to go out. Daylight saving time is going to go out. They have Veterans Day. They have Thanksgiving. Of course, happy holidays. And a lot of agents don't realize you can go in and tailor those. So I can create a holiday campaign. And if I want to take Happy Holiday out and I want to add Happy Hanukkah, and I know that there are people on my list that celebrate Hanukkah, I can send that campaign to them. I can create another one that has Christmas and send it to those people. And then I can have my basic Happy Holiday if I want to. So there's definitely ways to tailor it. You can take things out. I had an agent that was like, I don't want to send anything out for Halloween. You can remove that if you don't want to use that. So definitely, and they also have the postcards that go out. But also don't be afraid to use those handwritten notes. So I like to go into the tools and kind of get maybe a little bit of what the type is and say, oh, like this Thanksgiving postcard, this Thanksgiving postcard had, this really nice saying on it. I'm just going to take that saying and I'm going to put it. Recently I went to the dollar store and they had some really cute cards. They were like 50 cents each. You could probably go to a card store and get them cheaper. But they just have blank inserts, so I can just write what I want and I can send them out to people. I mean, a lot of people get holiday cards around Christmas and Hanukkah, but how many of you get Thanksgiving cards just telling you that they're thankful for you? And I've worked with several agents that have had good success in that because people aren't expecting those. They kind of come willy-nilly in the mail. You're excited. You get a handwritten note. Like, how many of those have you gotten this year? That somebody has taken the time to sit down and say, you know what? I've been thinking about this year. I'm so thankful for where my business has gone. You've been a part of that. I'm so grateful to have met you and that, we're friends now, or whatever it is that you want to say. Or again, take some of that stuff from In Touch and kind of put it in there. But just a great way and a less expensive way too. I mean, it's, just the cost of the card and the time it takes to write it out and putting it in the mail.
I think that's great because, we talked about budget really quick, in the beginning, and it's not always in everybody's budget to do something for every single month, but if you really wanted to pinpoint, maybe just being thankful is the way to go, and it kind of, covers that whole month for you, and then maybe you start again in January, with Happy New Year and kind of dodge the holidays a little bit. But thankful is so special. I mean, you can do so much with that. Amazon is great for buying bulk cards as well that are, blank inside. There's so many different websites you guys could go to find that. And to just, if it's a handwritten card that you want to go, do like 5 a day, or 10 a day. You're just sitting there in front of the TV in the evening or whatever, or maybe you're having your coffee in the morning. Just knock a couple of them out so they're all, done by the end of the month or the middle of the month, and just have a follow-up plan with that as well. Holiday dinners are always nice to sponsor. You have a lot of families in need this time of year. I know our offices usually pitch in greatly and very generously to, support a family that maybe needs a holiday dinner. Maybe it's something that you and your family want to do or you and your friends want to do. But the sky is the limit with this stuff. But I would love to hear from you guys and what you've done in the past. And, if you have any ideas you'd love to share. If anybody wants to be brave enough to go.
Hey, it's Christina. Not that I've done that much in the past, but I did just do, a lot of my sales were this summer. So for fall, I said, hope you had a great first summer in your house. And I dropped off like cocktail napkins, a bottle of wine, a Halloween decoration, and just put that together. So they had like their first fall decorations, which was fun. And I had someone who invited me to a client who invited me to their housewarming party, which, I wasn't going to go to the housewarming, but I still made them a margarita basket, which I put limes and lemons and fresh juice. So it wasn't a huge cost, but it looked nice. So just little things like that. But I really like the ideas you all were sharing on here. I think they're great. And I can't believe you both are still so involved in the community with how busy you are. I was like, oh my gosh, how would you have time for all of this? So that's great. But I think a lot of the ideas are awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And Christina, you're having an amazing year. You haven't even hit your 1 year mark and you are just killing it.
I always need more clients though. Just keep looking.
Awesome. Anybody else want to share? Thank you, Christine. That was great. Anybody else?
Jessica, I know you have ideas. I don't want to pick you out if you don't want to speak or share your greatness. But I know that you've been doing some community things as well. So I know you guys are out there doing things.
Yeah.
I did.
I'm doing a trunk or treat at my house with my so my kid's school is doing it. I'm sponsoring it. That's all I have right now.
And Jessica, how much did that cost you, if you don't mind me asking, just to kind of get involved with that?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a natural fit for you?
Yeah, I actually hosted it at my house last year before I was in real estate, and knew that I was getting into real estate but wasn't in yet, and kind of already knew that it would be a good prospecting thing for the following year. So yeah, I tend to host. I live on a large piece of property, so I host events at my house. And before I was in real estate, I was in the event business, so it's kind of a easy transition to merge the two. My husband doesn't love it, but other than that, it's fine.
So how do you plan to follow up after this trunk or treat? What's your plan of action?
So because everybody has to sign up online, I get the email addresses, so they're all in the drip marketing. Follow up otherwise, I haven't really come up with a plan. I'd love ideas though.
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, you go ahead, Ange. I know you're going to say something.
I was gonna say we can get together one-on-one and develop a strategy too. So don't forget that that's what I'm here for. And although marketing doesn't like it when I say this, I see things from out in the field. So whatever works for Jessica might not work for Cindy, might not work for Rosita, et cetera, et cetera. So to look at your clients and your list and your budget, how do we follow up with these people? What's the best course of action? Because for Jessica, it might be putting everybody on drip marketing, waiting a while, and then reaching out with Popeyes. Or it could be another event that she does in a few months. Once you start doing a client event, I call them client events, but even if they're a community event, people start looking for those things every year. Like if you did this last year and now you're doing it this year, you're probably going to have some more people that are waiting for it because they're expecting it now. And now you have, like you said, that opportunity to share, by the way, I do real estate. And that's kind of like, it helps you build your business. But then if you have it again next year, it may get bigger and bigger, and eventually maybe your husband will love it because it's going to bring you business and it's going to bring in money. But yeah, something like that doesn't cost anything. It's then having a follow-up plan of, what's the next thing that I can do? And like Teresa said, maybe it doesn't cost you anything, or maybe it costs you more time than it does money, like handwritten notes, or, hey, thanks for coming to the event, things of that nature. Sometimes that works too.
Yeah. I had a note here just to talk about the pies again. I know Karen touched on this earlier, and I know it's a favorite, especially during the holiday season. I don't know if Karen made all those hundreds of pies herself, which I would be very impressed. But you can also get them in places like Sam's Club or Costco. You can get them bulk. They usually give you a better deal for it. Where maybe you have a local bakery that would do a big deal for you too, like a big discount if you had a lot, or go in with another agent or a couple agents in the office, and try to get a bigger order for a better deal. Poinsettias are always beautiful, to give, and those are pretty inexpensive, especially if you go to a local nursery. They usually give you a good deal on those. But anything you can do in bulk is always great. Again, partner up with somebody, or maybe it's another agent in the office just to help with costs and ordering. Karen, where did you get yours? Do you have any hot tips for anything local? Maybe
She might still be on a call. I know that I think their office might do something as well, and I think they were looking at BJ's. Because you get those, I want to say they're like $5 or $6, but they're those really huge,
Yep.
really pretty, really pretty. And I have had some teams in the office do them as well, where they can either, people can come pick them up or they can go deliver them. One agent, you know, they came to pick up the pie and they're like, we weren't even really thinking about like our house, like, but you know, our kid's going to start going to school in like 2 years. And we're thinking about having another kid. We started thinking about all these things. And then you asked about a pie. So then we started thinking about real estate. And I literally was standing there and they were like, well, now we think we want to sell our house and buy another house. So can you help us with that? And it was literally over like a pie. So it doesn't always happen that way. But yeah, it helps if you get, you know, like she said, other agents in the office, hey, do you want to give pies out too? You know, if we have an order for 50 pies as opposed to 20, maybe they'll cut the cost down. You pay for yours, I'll pay for mine. But that just gets you, or maybe you have an affiliate that you work with, or a lender, or a title officer. Maybe they want to chip in with you. You know, their information can go on it as well. And then you have that team united front of, not only do you get to work with me in real estate, but I have a team of experts that can help you with the other things as well. You know, your home inspectors, the people that you work with, call them. You know, if you are like, oh, I don't have a budget for this, call them and see if they have a budget for some of this stuff.
They definitely want your business
with you, because they want the business too.
Yeah. And Christina brought up a great point. You know, it doesn't always have to be the most expensive thing, but it's all in the presentation, as we all know, right? I know Amazon has these really cool, and I think so does Walmart, you know, little gift tags that are very plain, you know, that come in all different colors and different bindings and all that kind of stuff that you can really just add a finishing touch to that. Ribbon you can get really inexpensive from Amazon. You can also get it, you know, at Joann's and things like that. But it's just the little finishing touches that really make the gift. So putting that, you know, my grandmother always used to say, love is in the details, and I totally believe it. You know, I think that if you add that little extra oomph to something, it really goes a long way with everybody. Anybody else have anything else to share before we wrap up here? Any other ideas or things that they want to try but maybe don't know how to get it launched?
Guys are shy.
I
did have one other thing that I had written on here that we had tried. I don't know. I think she's still doing it. For every referral that she received, whether they bought or sold or not, she never told people that part. But any referral that she received throughout the year, and every client that she worked with, I had an agent that would sponsor a meal at like the Helping Up mission. Which is literally was like $2 or something like that. So her overall cost at the end of the year wasn't, you know, she wasn't a huge agent, so it wasn't too extravagant, but that also gave her something that she was able to mail out to everyone that she had either worked with or, you know, had referred someone to her, to thank them and to say, you know, in honor of you sending this to me or working with me, I've paid it forward, and we're going to have, you know, meals for, you know, Helping Up mission or whatever charity you want to give to, if it's something in your immediate area. And that was very well received. Like, people were very impressed. Kind of like with St. Jude, you know, if you guys give to St. Jude and you're letting people know, you know, if you work with me, it's kind of like their money is going a little bit further. They're not just buying a house, like now they're buying a house and someone else is benefiting from that. So it's like their money's been stretched a little further. But yeah, something like that always is pretty good too.
Yeah, I know a couple agents that are very involved in like the animal rescue or, you know, things like that. Blankets are, you know, huge this time of year, extra food, toys, things like that with people going away, you know, in the shelters. So if you guys are animal lovers, there's, you know, something for everybody out there. But, and I think it has to be genuine, right? I think if you're going to pull off any kind of marketing whatsoever, it has to come from here. And, it has to show your personality a little bit too. There's so many different ideas out there. You can find them anywhere. They're everywhere, but it has to work for you. It has to be planned ahead of time, and there has to be follow-up. And I think you'll have great success. And it may not work the first time, but if you've got a plan, even if it's just once a quarter, to get stuff going, it's worth the shot. It's worth, and collaborate with your BVPs, collaborate with other agents, collaborate with Angie and our amazing partners that we have with Coldwell Banker. But yeah, it should be fun.
I see Jessica's got her hand up. Oh, she put it back down.
I was gonna say, kind of unrelated, related, just something small I did over the weekend. Back in, I guess it was July, we did a sidewalk sale at Kenilworth.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a lot of people's information, and I followed up with them. But this weekend I sent texts to all of them. I pulled all of those little raffled names out of my bag and sent texts and just wished everyone a happy fall. And said something like, how about those Ravens, even though I could care less about football. But I hear them screaming in the background when other people are watching it.
And that's perfect.
I got a call back this morning, and I have a listing appointment tomorrow, and they want to list and purchase. He was like, I lost your information. I'm really glad you reached out. So, which is weird because I gave him like notepads, Raven schedules, like literally everything with my name on it, but he lost all of it. That's just, so I wanted to share.
That's amazing. You had a plan, right? You executed it. You followed up. Congratulations. That's awesome.
And the other thing too, like Teresa was saying, if you want to get in with, I know that right now Towson's doing a drive for the local animal shelter. They're doing it as an office, so the office has put together material to put out on social media that the agents can share. They can participate if they want, if they don't want. So if it's something that you feel like, oh, I'm going to do this and it's going to be so small scale that nobody's going to notice, they'll still notice. But if you want it to be of a grander scale, don't hesitate talking to your manager and saying, hey, is this something that we can do together as an office? Like, I know Carroll County last year, you guys adopted some families around the holidays. And that was something that some of the agents were like, hey, can we do this? And then all of a sudden, all the agents were excited to participate. And the people that benefited, they had a greater benefit from that. But then a lot of people were able to kind of share in that and also the feel goods that you get from that. Like, I know, Jessica, I know you felt good when you texted those people and someone texted back and said, hey, yeah, I do, want to work with you. And I mean, how much, it didn't cost you anything to text that person, just a couple minutes at a time. So those small things work, and the grander things work. They all work. Just don't do nothing. That's the only thing that doesn't work.
Yeah. And if, things are not in your budget and you just want to really put together a well-written email or a well-written card, don't hesitate to reach out to Angie. She's an English major. she's got it all going on, and she can send you templates and, websites, resources, of different, examples of, thoughtful things to say, or maybe you get caught up where you don't want it to be too wordy or, it's overwhelming sometimes, with the social media and the writing. So, just to kind of plan ahead and, get your resources intact is huge. All right, guys. Ange, any closing remarks?
No, just again, sometimes it just comes down to strategy. Like Teresa said, it can feel overwhelming, but if I have it on my calendar, maybe in the month of November, every week I'm going to send out 5 or maybe even 10 little handwritten note cards. And when I say handwritten, it could be like 3 sentences. It doesn't have to be, I'm a wordy person. It doesn't have to be a novel, but just something very simple, or a simple text like Jessica did. If it's on your calendar and you see it, you're more likely to do it. and look at these marketing opportunities as appointments with yourself and with building your own business. Because I think we get so bogged down in the day-to-day real estate activities that sometimes we take the marketing, we put it on the back burner until there isn't anything going on. And that's what the marketing is there for, to ensure that we always have things in our pipeline, but sometimes they can be really small marketing things that just kind of fit in where we can fit them in. So they're not as overwhelming.
Yeah. If you're going to do something for the holidays, get it done in the next 30 days is my best advice. Get it done, get it off your list, be happy about it, own it, have a follow-up plan. That way you can enjoy the holidays with your family, your friends, and you're not stressed about it, going into the end of November and December wondering what you're going to do. Get it done, get it over with. Unless they're pop buys in December, then have fun with that. But, it should be enjoyable. It should be fun. It should be reflective of, the amazing person that you are, and, just enjoy. If we can be of any help to you whatsoever, please lean in and let us know. All right, guys. Well, thanks for popping in. Good luck to you. We know you'll crush it.
Yeah. If you need any help, just let us know.
Okay. All right.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
See you.
Be safe.